Well, I'm a venture capitalist. So our favorite investment in solar, for example, is in a company called Clean Power Finance. And Clean Power Finance provides funding for the installation of solar on residential roofs and provides it in a way that the consumer, the homeowner, or the home renter for that matter, doesn't need to put any money up in advance at all. You just get a solar system right on your roof, and then you pay it back by essentially paying us, the company, as if we were the utility. So we charge you on a per kilowatt hour generated basis. So in California, it's not disruptive to the utilities because in California, the utilities are uncoupled from the amount of electricity that they sell. That is, their profits do not depend on how much they sell. Their profits depend upon how well they follow the directives of the California Energy Commission and the legislature. So many states, the more electricity you sell, the more money the utility makes. In California, that's not true, and in about 12 other states growing, that's also not true. In those states, it's possible for the Public Utility Commission to essentially dictate the level of conservation that needs to be achieved by the constituency of by the ratepayers. I would like to think of people who buy electricity as my customers. It's very illustrative that utilities typically call them ratepayers. They're not even human beings, they're just ratepayers. But that said, the states that have this uncoupled mechanism for earning a return are states in which the utilities are interested really fundamentally in following the directives of whatever that entity is, usually the Public Utility Commission. We stand in jeopardy in the United States and frankly most of the rest of the world, with the exception of just a few countries who are oil producers. We stand in jeopardy of being the victims of our need for energy. In those states where in those areas of the world, in those countries where there's little or no indigenous production of energy, they are entirely dependent upon the fairly whimsical politics of the Middle East. And so it is unfortunately the case that they sometimes have to do unnatural acts with respect to their political views and with respect to who they support. What one would really like, from a political standpoint and from the point of making the world less vulnerable to war, is to see as much local indigenous generation of electricity and of other sources of fuel without having to go abroad to get it. That gives you a safer world. So from that perspective, it is certainly advantageous to try to find technologies and methodologies to allow countries to achieve that level of energy independence. Well, I think anything in the direction of clean tech, in energy conservation, or in fact, to tell you the truth, in renewable energy generation, is probably a good thing for the world and is potentially very lucrative.